Sheldon Cooper isn't known for his emotional openness. As the theoretical physicist with an IQ of 187 and a seemingly impenetrable social shell, he spends most of the Big Bang Theory using logic as armor. But through his journey across 12 seasons, a surprising emotional core surfaces, one that shows he's more than quirks and quantum mechanics. These 12 moments remind us that behind Sheldon's rigid schedules, idiosyncrasies, and contracts is a man growing in love, friendship, and self-awareness. 1. Sheldon comforts Penny, the pancake batter anomaly. One of the first glimpses of Sheldon's compassion comes early in season 1. Penny falls ill, and surprisingly, Sheldon takes care of her, though awkwardly, with a warm rendition of Soft Kitty. Despite his discomfort around physical illness and his usually dismissive tone with Penny, he chooses to help, showing that his logic can sometimes give way to loyalty. 2. Losing his job and rediscovering passion, the luminous fish effect. After being fired from Caltech, Sheldon spirals. He attempts everything from making glow-in-the-dark fish to weaving. It's the first time we see how deeply his identity is tied to his work and how vulnerable he becomes without it. His eventual return is humbling, not just for him, but for us, reminding viewers that even geniuses fear purposelessness. 3. Sheldon says, "I'm sorry," to Howard, the closet reconfiguration. Sheldon rarely apologizes, especially sincerely. But after reading an emotional letter from Howard's father, then creating multiple fake versions to shield Howard from pain, he finally shows remorse. He acknowledges he crossed a line and says sorry. It's small, but for Sheldon, it's monumental. 4. Meeting Amy Farrah Fowler, the lunar excitation. His introduction to Amy Farrah Fowler is not a romantic spark, but a calculated setup. Still, it marks the start of Sheldon's slow, often reluctant transformation. Amy, a mirror of Sheldon's quirks but emotionally more self-aware, becomes the catalyst for him exploring feelings he'd long buried. 5. The D&D tribute to Howard's father, the love spell potential. In a Dungeons & Dragons game, Sheldon takes on the role of Howard's estranged father. It's supposed to be a joke, but when Sheldon gently offers closure through roleplay, it's touching. He shows empathy in the most unexpected way, by being someone else. It's one of the few times he uses his imagination to heal. 6. The train kiss, the locomotive manipulation. Aboard a vintage train, his idea of heaven, Sheldon surprises Amy, and viewers, with a spontaneous kiss. What begins as an argument over Valentine's Day etiquette turns into an emotional leap. The kiss is raw, unpracticed, and heartfelt. It's the moment Sheldon stops seeing love as an equation and starts feeling it. 7. Sheldon's breakdown after losing his seat, the space probe disintegration. When his favorite seat on the couch is taken, Sheldon panics, not just because of the seat itself, but because it's the last straw in a world full of uncertainty. He finally breaks down, showing how deeply change affects him. Leonard comforts him, revealing the deep friendship at the show's core. 8. The ring revelation, the commitment determination. In a rare moment of solitude and internal conflict, Sheldon reveals to the audience that he has an engagement ring for Amy. The moment isn't shared with another character, but it's pivotal. It's Sheldon acknowledging his own emotional evolution, privately and sincerely. 9. Sheldon's proposal, the long-distance dissonance. When he proposes to Amy, it's not about pressure or expectation, it's about love. Traveling to Princeton and dropping to one knee isn't in Sheldon's comfort zone. But he does it. The fear, sincerity, and vulnerability in his eyes redefine who he is, no longer just a man of logic, but a man of feeling. 10. Sheldon comforts Howard after his mother's death, the comic book store regeneration. After Mrs. Wolowitz's death, Sheldon offers Howard heartfelt comfort. When I lost my own father, I didn't have any friends to help me through it. But you do. The moment is brief but deeply human. It's Sheldon stepping outside of himself to support someone else. 11. You're My Family, the Thanksgiving decoupling. In a Thanksgiving episode, Sheldon drunkenly tells Bernadette and Penny that despite his issues, he's grateful for them. It's humorous, but the sentiment is genuine. Sheldon doesn't say, "I love you," easily, but his actions, and occasionally his alcohol-laced words, show it clearly. 12. The Nobel Prize speech, the Stockholm Syndrome. The culmination of Sheldon's emotional journey arrives at the series finale. Winning the Nobel Prize, something he dreamed of his entire life, would seem like the peak. But it's what he says, not what he wins, that defines the moment. Instead of making the speech about himself, Sheldon thanks his friends. One by one, he acknowledges how much they've done for him and how their love and patience shaped who he is. "In my own way, I love you all," he says, trembling and finally shedding the last piece of his emotional armor. The legacy of Sheldon's growth. Sheldon Cooper's journey is not about becoming normal. It's about learning to care in his own unique way. He never loses his eccentricity or intellectual arrogance, but he slowly adds compassion, vulnerability, and love to the mix. Every emotional moment peels back another layer, revealing that behind the man who knocks 3 times and worships science is someone who feels deeply, even if he doesn't always know how to show it. And that's what made Sheldon unforgettable, not just his intelligence, but the quiet emotional revolutions that turned him into someone capable of growth, love, and connection. Would you like this formatted for a blog post or adapted for another platform?